people are booked because they're good at what they do. I don't think anyone's just booked because they help fill out that kind of show. We do what we do well.
Yeah.
I'd like to think anyway. I'd like to think we're not just there to tick a box. I think it's really important to see, oh, that person's like me, I can do this.
Welcome back to Grapple Theory. Thanks so much for joining us once again. As you'll be able to see by the title, today's guest is none other than Big Daddy Unicorn, Jason Joshua. Jason, thanks so much for coming on the show. How are you doing?
Thanks for having me. I'm doing good, thanks. I've just got in from the gym, so I've been running around a bit.
Out of breath.
Yeah.
That's fine. It's all right. This will be a nice, chill, relaxing recording anyway, so you'll be fine. You'll be able to catch your breath back up. And then we got a few fun bits coming on later that will maybe stress you out a bit more than the gym did. We'll see. But it's great to have you here. We always start every recording by just asking, like, how was your last 12 months? Obviously, we're in December now, officially at the time of recording, officially in December. End of the year coming up. How has 2024 been for Jason Joshua?
I think really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been my busiest year yet. Most matches, most promotions. Furthest I've travelled for wrestling. Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say, like, looking at the year you've had, it seems like basically exactly what you said. Like you say, it seems like you've been getting out there more, loads more places, loads more opportunities. And again, like that must be really, really rewarding after, again, like you've been in wrestling a while now. And I think like we've had a few people who have sort of maybe broken out this year who have been in wrestling sort of like the same amount of time as you, or maybe a bit longer even. And like, there can be a point where you're like, is it ever, am I ever going to get that sort of big breakout? And like when it comes, then like, and you finally get those more opportunities and like more things start to happen. Yeah, that must be just a really rewarding feeling.
Yeah. It's a weird one because when I started, it was always sort of I'll do a couple of matches and see where it goes. And then as every year's gone on, I've just said I want to do more. Because like when I first couple of years, I was maybe wrestling 20 times a year. Because I'm coming up to 8 years in February. So literally the first 4, I wrestled a total of 70 times all in all. The last 3 years, I've had a minimum of 65 shows. By the end of this year, I'll hit 80. Yeah, just a year. So I've wrestled more this year than I did in my first 4. So it's just sort of nice. Busy and tired, nice.
I was gonna say, yeah. Then you get more used to sort of like being away every week and being tired most weeks.
Oh,
That's
so I've got Wendy because obviously I've got a day job. So Monday to Friday, I work. I tend to do at least one show every weekend at the minute. So either the Friday, the Saturday, or the Sunday, or 2 of them, or all 3, and then it's back to work on the Mondays. So it's like,
yeah. But I imagine you'd rather be tired and having, all those weekends of travel than not having it.
oh yeah, yeah. I'm incredibly proud of how busy I've been. Because again, like it sounds like I'm being negative on myself. I'm not. It's just the view I had when I started was, I'll do a couple, and then be able to say so many places have had me, and I've wrestled so many matches. It's like it's a massive thing for me.
Yeah.
So I do enjoy the being busy part and getting myself out there a bit further afield because I've always kind of struggled with it. So
yeah. And again, that's where like that must feel again really rewarding that like, that the hard work's paying off sort of thing.
yeah, it is a nice feeling. Yeah, there's not a lot to say about it. It is just I'm proud of what I'm doing, and I really hope I can keep it up next year and do just as much.
Yeah.
Get just as far afield. Like I'm trying to push myself a bit more than ever. I've started to lose a bit of weight as well to try and sort of get myself in better shape for 2025. Um, I want to. When lockdown ended, I sort of wanted to hit the ground running
Mm.
and do better, and I have. And now I've gone with the same mindset of into 2025. I want to hit 2025 running. So we'll see what happens.
Brilliant. I'm sure you will, mate. I'm sure you will. I can't wait to see what next year has in store for you. I mean, like, in terms of your year, in terms of, again, like, how many opportunities you've had and everything you've had going on, is there, like, a particular match or a particular moment where, like, that really hit that bit extra, where you were like, "This is a big deal. Like, this is a big step in the right direction of where I wanna be going."
Um, I think there's been a couple. So quite a big one for me was TNT.
Mhm.
Um, one, because it was a really fun show, and two, it's the first I've travelled. I get really travel sick, so I really struggle with going further afield. And two, I dropped out of the previous year's big gay brunch because I wasn't mentally up to it. And then this year, like I got there and I really enjoyed it. And then I've got myself to different places, and I've continued relationships with places I've already been at.
Mm.
And I've done things like death matches and hardcore, and like I never thought I'd do any of that. So they're all quite big for me.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, how was, because I had that down to ask you, how was that step for you, stepping into, like, the sort of deathmatch sphere?
Um, I I enjoy it, but I can't bring myself to go to the extreme some other people do,
Yeah.
because fair play to them. I I can't do that.
Not like Emerson Jane this past weekend at TNT, and I don't know if you've seen these, like, photos circulating on, like, social media. She had, like, darts sticking out her mouth and stuff. I'm
Like
like, not all.
I enjoy watching it. Like I really enjoy that kind of wrestling, and I enjoy doing it to an extent.
Mm.
But yeah, I think there is a limit for me in that aspect of it.
No mouth darts. No.
Yeah, like I don't think I could have things through my cheeks.
Yeah.
Um, I'm not too fussed about glass, I'm not gonna lie, but like I think there's about my limit. To the people that do needles through the cheeks, darts through the cheeks, there's Alton Thorne that does stinging nettles.
Yeah.
Um, there's these people that like Drew Parker has darts thrown in his back. That's insane, and it's insane to watch.
Yeah.
I couldn't do that.
No, it's like there are some bits, like, again, I enjoy a deathmatch wrestling. Like, I enjoy a deathmatch as a whole, but, like, there are some things that, like, that happen, like the Emerson Jane one from the weekend, where, like, you see it and you're like like physically cringe at it. I'm like, "Oh, no," like, you sends the shiver down your spine. You're like,
And all the respect in the world for them. I think it's amazing what they do. I don't think I can bring myself to that. I
"No."
might do one day. I always said I'd never do a death match. I always said I'd never do hardcore. It's a possibility, but
Mm.
them guys have the biggest balls in wrestling.
Yeah. It's mental, isn't it? I don't know how they do it. I don't know how you get, like you say, get yourself up to being like, "Yeah, I'll do that. No worry." Yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea, but
Yeah. It's mental, isn't it? It is mental. It is mental. But again, you mentioned that, obviously, like, really, like, again, sort of like new steps for you, like new promotions. Again, with TNT, it's sort of nice that, like, I imagine, again, it's a nice feeling where, obviously, last time you had to pull out of the show. And again, like, credit to you, because I think there are certain times when a lot of people can't put themselves first mental health wise. And I think it's really important to do that. But, like, it must be nice and, again, really reassuring that they came back to you that next year, despite the fact you pulled out the year before.
yeah, I thought I'd screwed that. Um, I when they announced like brunch, I was like, obviously I'd love to do it, but like, why would they ask me? I've let them down in the past. And then they sent me a message and were so nice about it. And were like, no, we understood why you couldn't do last year. We'd love you to come this year. And it was like, obviously I'm gonna try my best and say yes. And I managed to make it. And as soon as I got there, Jay was there saying, see, Neve can make it. literally like in the door as I got there.
That's
So
really nice. Jay's such a good guy. Jay's so lovely. Like he's so from everyone who we've had on who works with him, like he's just so like caring in that sort of regard. Like he cares about the people that he books.
yeah, I'll be honest. I think I've been incredibly lucky with a lot of promoters.
Mm.
'Cause I Yeah, I just think I have been lucky. I've had a lot of people that have looked out for me and given me the opportunities when they know, like, I've had struggle
Mm.
past and they've gone, well, let's give it a shot. So
Yeah.
everyone that's booked me, I'm grateful for.
Yeah. No, I love that. I love that. And as well as like obviously you had all that in terms of a promotion that you have history with, but again, like made a bit more history with just recently, like a couple of months ago, right? PEW World Champion.
Yeah.
Like that must be nice.
Yeah. It's, yeah, it meant a lot. If
Mm.
you watch the video, you do see me get like teary eyed, and it always means a lot. Sort of be trusted in any aspect with a wrestling promotion, let alone sort of be at the front of that.
Mm.
And yeah, it means a lot to sort of have that belt. And like I literally started when I started with them, my 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 first match was a four-way where I was the first one eliminated. I was sort of bobbing about and I was always there and they always offered me work, but I was just sort of there.
Mm.
And then I'll be honest, it was the crowd, it was the fans, the people that are there every show. They just got behind me more and more and more. And then finally it got to that opportunity of like, well, yeah. And now I've had that belt for a couple of months.
Yeah. Which is great. And again, like you say, it's brilliant, like, obviously not just in your scenario, but, like, in wrestling as a whole where that works out, where again, we've had it a few times, people say it on the show where people are like, "That was never the plan," you know what I mean? It was never the plan for them, or promoters say that it was never the plan to have a certain person as champion, but, like, the crowd just want it so much, and the crowd just get behind someone so much, sometimes in, like, such an unexpected way that you're forced to go that route. You're forced to be like, "Well, let's give the people what they want." And, like, it's gotta be really nice knowing that you can have that impact on a crowd, that you can turn a crowd like that and be like, "I'm gonna make you care about me."
Yeah, I'm incredibly proud of sort of what I've been doing in wrestling.
Mm.
Um, which I don't always realize, I don't think, but like, and I'll never claim to be the best wrestler in the world. Because God knows there's so many amazing people.
Mm.
But I am quite proud of sort of how I can connect with the crowd, and how the crowd can connect with me,
Yeah.
and how it can sort of escalate any situation. And it's something I have worked hard for. But obviously, if it wasn't for the people that came and supported, it wouldn't go anywhere. So, right.
Yeah. Yeah, which is exactly the thing, isn't it? That's the thing is, like, it is the fact that, again, we talk to people all the time where it's like, being the best wrestler is sort of like a it's sort of like a fallacy, right? It's not really a real thing because the best wrestler is the one that the promoter thinks is the best, or the one that like is over with that crowd, right? They're the best in that area in that scene because they're the one that has proven that people can care about them. Okay, because you're the promoter banks, right?
Yeah, it depends who you ask and when you ask them. It's never going to be that. Um, it's never going to be the same answer. And like, my answer is going to differ from your answer. Tomorrow, my answer could differ from my answer. Like, so it's just sort of making the most of a situation or a match or a moment. And yeah,
Yeah.
I try like any wrestler. We all go out there to try. We don't, let's be honest, we don't do it for the money.
Mm.
We don't do it for any of that. We do it because we love it
Mm.
and connect with these people, whether it be other wrestlers or fans, because they love it too.
Yeah. I say
So,
I say to people all the time, like, and people say to me, it's the case where, like, it's unlikely to find. I was gonna say never, but you never say never. It's unlikely to find a wrestler who is a wrestler but doesn't care about wrestling, because unlike other professions, if you don't care about wrestling, I don't know why you'd put your body through that. You know what I mean? Like, you have to care about it, otherwise there's no point putting your body through what you put it through.
yeah, like, we all do this to our bodies, and we said about death matches and stuff like that. But even a regular match, you're beating your body. And then you go to the hardcore, the death matches, the ladder matches, the last man standings, the 30 minutes, the 40 minutes, the 50 minutes. It's like, yeah, it's nice to get a payment at the end of it. And it's nice to have a couple of people that your friends go, that was cool. But at the end of the day, you're doing it, one, for yourself,
Mm.
and two, for the people that have paid to enjoy it. And you put that effort forward because they've put their, like, hard-earned money forward.
Mm.
It's like, if there wasn't a belief in wrestling and that love for it, it's a bit crazy that you go to that. It's crazy that people do this anyway, but like, if you go into that extreme and there's no passion there, that's even. I think wrestling is the most passionate bunch of people you'll meet, whether it's recruiters, wrestlers, fans, as an entire bubble of people, the most passionate people you can come across.
Yeah, exactly. Totally agree. Totally agree. Well, you say that that's obviously that's like lovely sentiment. But now we're going to get into one of our first features here on the show, which isn't so lovely in sentiment because this is called dishing the dirt, and I'm gonna ask you some questions basically, and I want you to let me know which member of the locker room, any locker room that you work in, any wrestler you've worked with, basically,
Okay.
which wrestler best comes to mind for each thing.
Okay.
So the first one is who's always running late?
I will say, who will I say? Who always runs late? Wrestling's quite good at timekeeping, but I would say, I don't know. I don't really like
It
to.
doesn't have to be necessarily late for a show, but like, is there someone who's always the last one in the locker room? Like everyone else always, you can always count on one person to be the last one.
I think British wrestling is quite good at timekeeping. I think you have to do.
I don't know. I don't know. We've had a fair few people out, a few people for being always late.
Just off the top of my head, I think, because I've been put on the spot, I've just. Oh, I have gotten the wrong. Um,
Who's sorry? You sort of out.
Sam Best,
Oh yeah,
worst timekeeper you'll ever meet.
really?
Yeah.
Always late.
Yeah.
Brilliant, brilliant. But like you say, I appreciate that I put you on the spot here. Like that's the sort of thing like we do it like in terms of just I just like to keep people on their toes, you know, give you something different to think about.
Fair enough.
The next one is I always say again, this is interesting for you, like as you mentioned with the travel, because I don't travel well either. I'm not a good traveler either. But this is what I always say, like the answer we always get is people know this from carpools and stuff, is who has the worst music taste?
Uh, I don't travel with a lot of people,
Mm.
so I'm probably gonna have to say myself.
What are we talking? What do you listen to?
I listen to bits of everything, which is why it can get so bad.
Eclectic. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, people normally say the eclectic ones are the worst ones because like you'd think it's the best, but normally it's like just you're on a car journey and the music will switch up so instantly. You're like, what is this? Like,
Oh yeah, I go from like chapel rowing to Disney to WWE themes, and I'm all flicking through before the song's finished. Yeah.
I do that as well. Like you flick through and you're like, do I like that one enough? Should I move something else up? Like,
Let's try another one.
yeah, Chaperone's a strong choice though, because like she's smashing it at the minute. Like I'm not. I'm like a metal rock kind of guy, and even I'm like sort of obsessed with her at the minute.
Yeah. Yeah, she's one of my go-tos at the minute.
Yeah, she's really good. She's really good. The next one is the next one's my favorite. It's who in the locker room would you absolutely under no circumstances let a family member date?
Oh god. Um, Hot Shot Joey Scott.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How come?
Because I know him, uh, and he's one of my favorite people in the world, but I don't wanna risk being related to him.
That seems fair. That seems fair and wise, I think. Yeah, probably smart.
Hmm.
The
Good god, long list. No.
Well, again, the answer we get the most is like, oh, just nobody should date a wrestler. Like, if you're not a wrestler, don't date a wrestler.
Wrestlers shouldn't date wrestlers, and people shouldn't date wrestlers.
So who can wrestlers date?
Nah.
Yeah, just no one. Just like
Yeah.
you've chosen your life. It's
Yeah. We're never free at weekends. We're tired in the week. We're always covered in like random bruises. Like, and see, I don't even know where this one came from. Like, most of us are at the gym when we've got free time, or we're tired, or we've banged our heads on something, or you're picking glass out of our back. No, keep away.
you need to have that real sweet spot where you can date a wrestler who is like on all the same shows you are and has like the exact same schedule. And that's like how you make it work.
Yeah, and how likely is that? I think I'm incredibly lucky that my partner doesn't like wrestling.
Mm.
I think that's a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Because again, like otherwise it's yeah, it can be too much wrestling then, can't it? It can be too much, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's nice. But but do they know about your no one should date a wrestler?
Oh, I think they would agree with me. It's like it takes up so much of my time and so much of theirs.
Mm.
Like, yeah, it's one of them awkward ones. But I imagine in a lot of different areas, people would say the same about the areas they're in.
Yeah, I would imagine so. I would imagine so. The next one is not in the ring. We're talking out the ring. The stuff that people just show up to shows in before they get changed. Who has the worst dress sense?
So it's a lad called 40.
I don't know that name.
So he's a young lad. I think he's 18 or 19. He trains at Full Force Wrestling.
Okay.
Um, I genuinely think the world of him. I train with him most weeks. I talk to his parents all the time because they come to all the shows. He trains under Joey Scott, which is who I train with. But he looks like he gets dressed in the dark. It can be tracky bottoms and like a nice shirt, which doesn't go together, or shirts that are just the most random patterns and colors. Um, or just like he'll turn up to training with like, like the old trousers with like 10 pockets
Oh yeah.
and just the most random clothes. And he'll turn up to a show and he'll have this horrible multicolored shirt and he'll go, I'm going to wear it for my entrance. And we all have to be like, no, you're not. He gets dressed in the dark, I'm convinced.
That does sound bad. Yeah, that sounds like it. Like from what you said, that sounds like get the dress in the dark. Just like pick whatever out the cupboard and just be like, yep, that's it. That'll do.
Yeah.
That is bad. The next one's on the nicer end though. The next one is we're talking in the ring. You've forgotten your gear for a show, every wrestler's worst nightmare, and you've got to go to someone in the locker room and borrow their gear. But we're talking one size fits all. You can pick whoever you want. Whose gear do you look at and you're like, I could pull that off?
Ooh. I'm trying to think he wears singlets because you ain't catching me in a pair of trunks.
I was gonna say, would it have to be a singlet or would you mix it up? Could you like go out there, do something wacky?
No, I'd have to find someone with a singlet. I don't think I could do. I tried trunks at the beginning of the year and I don't get on with them.
It's not for you.
No. I think I'd look weird in tights.
Mm.
Um,
What about like a? Would it have to be like a like Would it have to be like a male wrestler singlet? Could it be like a single piece, like a nightshade or something, like a one piece like that?
Uh, yeah, probably. Um,
Or would it have to? That's more what I was getting at. Would it have to be like a singlet, or could it be just a one piece? Because
I
I
think
feel
it just, yeah, it'd have to be someone that I could sort of hide because I'm not the biggest fan of my own body.
sure.
So, um, to be fair, Nightshade always has really nice gear.
Yeah, she does.
So that that might be my go-to. Um, I think I'm overthinking this because I can't think of anyone with singlets, and I know there's loads of us.
Yeah, he's got a
Uh,
few. Will Cruz wears a singlet, right? Will Cruz does a singlet. Does he do? Will Cruz does a singlet. Yeah, I'm questioning myself now, but I'm fairly sure he does.
yeah, it'd have to be someone like Will Cruz. Ivy always has really nice wrestling gear.
Yeah.
Like loads of people have nice wrestling gear, but I couldn't imagine myself in a lot of it.
Now, what about like a something like really like out there and like glittery, like a Lana Austin or a Nina Samuels?
I could do really glittery.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that would look. Yeah, I think that could work. What? It's like the little top hat. Like,
I don't think I could pull that off because of the bald heads, but like, yeah, I think we're just going to end up listing really nice gear and loads.
there's a lot of nice gear. There's a lot of nice gear in Brit isn't there? There's like some people like just pull out all the stops, and I'm like, again, we speak to so many people where you're like, again, like for all of you, it's such a financial dedication to get gear looking that good because obviously like the cost that goes into it and like making it look as good as it can, like that's a lot of money. Like,
Yeah. I can name so many people that have really nice gear, just not that I could see myself
not
wearing.
yourself in.
Yeah, like I said, I tried trunks at the beginning of the year and I just felt uncomfortable.
Sure.
Well, I completely understand other people that wear trunks because like there's someone like Freddie Beck who why would you want to hide any of that? You're looking insane.
Completely jacked, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah. Joey Scott always has really nice gear. TJ Scott trunks, but it's really nice, but I couldn't see myself wearing them.
No.
Like, yeah.
Could you do like trousers? Like, would you do like who has like a Leon Slater or someone? Like where they're not technically leggings, are they? Like they're proper trousers. Would you go for that? Could you pull that off?
Oh, I don't know. I'm really set on singlets.
That's fair. Yeah, I was getting that vibe. That's fair. You got to wrestle in what you're comfortable in, right?
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. I appreciate that. I respect that. The next one is who would throw the best party in the locker room? Who would throw the party that Jason Joshua would need to be at?
Uh,
Actually, I feel like that's confusing actually, because those are two different questions. The best party might not necessarily be the one that you would want to go to in terms of like what I guess what defines a party. But it is more so which one would you most want to go? Whose party would you most want to go to?
ooh, I don't know because I get really socially anxious. Uh,
I get it. I get that.
Someone that would do a silent disco, so I could sit awkwardly in the corner. Um,
Who would do a good silent disco? I feel like no, I was gonna say Doris, but Doris wouldn't do a silent disco. He'd just do like a disco.
yeah. So if we're going off who would actually do like an insane party, obviously like someone like the Reese was
Yeah,
session off.
yeah. Those are the wild parties.
Yeah.
That again, like you say, I can relate. If you're like a bit socially anxious, they do the wild party, but not. Yeah, maybe not one of those.
Yeah. I'm the wrong person to ask about parties. Um,
No, I guess I'm the same.
they would be the most fun. I think they're the really obvious answers.
Mm.
Hmm.
Would you do like a I want to say like a gaming party, you know, where people just hang out and play video games or like watch film or something? Would you be that be more your sort of speed?
Yeah, probably. Um, yeah. You know, when you put on the spot and you try and think of people and you can't think
Yeah,
any.
it will suddenly all the names go from your mind. I can't remember. Yeah, we had someone on the podcast who like just had their phone in front of them and was like looking through their contacts as we were asking. They're like, there.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about that one.
No,
We'll
so
come
we'll
back.
come to it. We'll come back to it because the next one is the last one on this list. It's I think it's the most important. It's who would you choose to be your partner in the zombie apocalypse?
Ooh.
It's an important one, I think. This is a key question.
I either need someone that is insanely smart or just an absolute unit.
I was gonna say, like, that's the thing I always say. Depends what you want them for, right? Do you want someone that you can sort of like be like, you deal with it. I'm gonna run away, or do you want someone that you can sort of like fight side by side like a proper team and like actually figure things out?
So if it was like a proper team and figuring things out, it'd have to be someone like TJ Sky, because he got me into wrestling. Like, it's his fault. So he can help me deal with that.
This is all because of him.
Yeah. If I wanted someone that I think would keep us alive,
Hmm.
I think I'd go for someone like Ivy.
Yeah,
Mm.
Ivy's a good shout. The baseball bat as well, like
Yeah. Um, and if I wanted someone to sort of deal with the issue, uh, I'm trying to think of the biggest wrestler I know.
we like Shreddy. We mentioned Shreddy.
I think he'd be incredibly helpful.
He's huge.
Someone like that, Shreddy. I'm just trying to think of like big wrestler, just anyone that's big
Anyone did absolutely, yeah. Just
and fed.
absolutely. Well, we mentioned Will as well. That would be a good one.
Yeah, just rip people's heads off.
Yeah,
Um, I think Joey Scott would be a good one. I think Carl Kingsley because he could just throw people. Um,
there's a lot of good choices.
yeah, I'm not good at this. Then he's like 3 options.
Maybe we'll do that. We'll make it multiple choice in the future.
Yeah, because I could think of different reasons for different people. I'm always worried about leaving someone out, and it's like, they would have been great, and then I'll sit there later and go, "I should have been this person."
You know, like, why didn't you pick me? I would have been great. Like, clap you later in the DMs, being like, can't believe you didn't pick me.
Sky Smithson,
Oh, Sky's a great shout. Yeah,
I think she would keep us alive and she would deal with the issue.
yeah, I agree. I think Sky is a really good shout. That's a really solid call. I like that. I like that. Well, that does. Luckily, you're off the hook because that does bring an end to that feature. And we've got one more feature to that we always close the podcast with. But I was going to say, moving on to, like, I wanted to ask you because I think it's something that obviously you're such a huge advocate for. I think it's so important. Is representation in the LGBTQ plus community in wrestling, because I feel like, and again, as someone who is part of a community, you will have a better idea than I. But it seems from an outsider perspective that representation has improved, especially like post COVID in British wrestling. But like it feels like representation has improved, but we again still I've still spoken to a few wrestlers who have been like, there's still a lot that needs to be done, or who still have these sort of negative run-ins with promoters or fans because of their identity. Like, do you feel like that wrestling is in a better place now than say pre-pandemic?
Yeah, um, I think it's definitely in a better place. And I don't just mean like pride shows, they're amazing, but like, um, yeah, like you just have to look at the scene to see how many people are part of the community itself
Mm.
and don't have to hide it. And are some of the best wrestlers you'll come across. And like, one of the reasons I actually started to train as a wrestler was seeing, I've said this loads, so they already know, I saw Visage on a poster in Leicester. And I was like, oh my God, like a queer wrestler, it's a thing. Because in my head, I was like, that doesn't happen. And seeing them was like the big sort of, well, I can at least give this a go. Um, I've told them that so often.
Yeah.
Mm. I do think it matters because even if it's not, oh, I can be a queer wrestler, it's someone like me is in that scenario.
Yeah.
Like, I'm very different to Visage, but we're both part of that community.
Yeah.
So
That's the thing, isn't it? There are so many people in that community in wrestling, but like no one is the same. Like that's the thing. Like I think we had Riley the MBF on, and they were like, as well, like there's so many people as part of that community, but no one there's not a box. It's not just a set box of I'm a queer wrestler. It's like the box has been burst open essentially, and like you have all these different wrestlers who are part of this community, but none of them are the same gimmick, are the same character. Like everyone has their own identity that is so far beyond just their sexual identity.
yeah, and it's up and down the country. It's yeah. It's I don't think people are booked so we tick a box.
Hmm.
I think a lot of us are booked because we do what we do well.
Yeah.
I'd like to think anyway. I'd like to think we're not just there to tick a box because, like, I think something like that we moved past a while ago. And let's be honest, a lot of places, I don't mean wrestling, I mean in general. Um, like, I think, like, literally, you can go all the way up north and find incredible queer wrestlers, all the way down south, schools everywhere. Like, there is queer wrestlers that, I mean, that are so just good at what they do
Mm.
that they couldn't be put in a box.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, like the opportunity for that person that absolutely stands out and does what they do so well. And like you said, there's so many different people. Show me someone that could do what half these people do they can't,
Mm.
because they stand out and they're willing to be themselves. And like, it's really cool to be in a locker room with them people.
Yeah. That's the thing, isn't it? That's the thing that's so amazing is like you say in terms of like what Visage brought, because Visage was, I feel like, one of those real like front front runners in terms of like putting LGBTQ plus wrestlers sort of like on a platform, getting people to be like, I can be like that. People that like you say, they identify with like, I don't want to be Visage as a character, but like it shows that someone like me can be part of this thing.
Yeah.
Like that's what's so important about it, I think, is that push of, I guess, again, we've had people say it about the LGBTQ plus community, like, and we've had people say it about the BAME community as well, like Roy Johnson, who obviously runs Everything Patterned, in terms of like, obviously that's hugely important as well. But like you say with the pride shows, it's a case of it's great that they're there, but almost there shouldn't be a need for them, because it shouldn't be like we're booking, like you say, in terms of ticking a box. It shouldn't be a case where anyone's like, I'm booking this person because they're LGBTQ plus. I'm booking them because they're just a great wrestler.
Yeah. And I do think even with the prize shows, people are booked because they're good at what they do. I don't think anyone's just booked because they help fill out that kind of show. Um, I think it's really important to see someone like yourself. Like, it's important to see that gay person, that lesbian, uh, like, there's so many different examples that are like, oh, that person's like me, I can do this.
Mm.
And obviously it doesn't just fall to queer people, it falls to a lot of people in wrestling, and everyone should be represented. And it's like you said, everything patterned does a massive part of that. And the pride shows do a massive part of it. And like, yeah, I just see someone where you see yourself in them.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the most important thing, isn't it? Is giving people that link of like, yeah, seeing part of them in what you're doing, to like, because that's how you inspire people, right? That's how the next generation comes through, by seeing someone that they can relate to.
Yeah. And it's it's not even like, obviously it leads to more people being in wrestling, which is always a great thing. But it's not even oh, I can be a wrestler now. It's I've seen someone that's like me, after I've been struggling with this for so long.
Mm.
It's not a bad thing. Maybe I can go do this thing I want to do. maybe I can be myself. Like it can change a lot of different things.
Yeah, not like you say, not just in terms of people that might want to be wrestlers. It can just change like your life seeing someone who is like you, who you can relate to, just outside of that, and in terms of anything else.
Yeah. Um, it makes a difference seeing someone that you see yourself in.
Yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. No, well said, well said. Well, that brings us on to nearly the end of the recording, but just into our final feature here for the evening. And we've dished the dirt on your locker room mates, but now we're going to get to know a bit about you, Jason Joshua, because this is called Anatomy of a Pro Wrestler, and it's essentially just what makes you you. So again,
Okay.
list you some questions, and I want you to let me know what comes to mind. So the first one is what is your favorite post pinfall pig out?
Uh, I'm gonna be really generic and say McDonald's.
I think that's a classic, isn't it? In terms of just like we have a lot of people say like because that's what's open, right? That's the thing that's open. Yeah, I get that. I get that. What's your McDonald's order?
Normally a Big Mac, because I'm boring.
Yeah, it's sole choice. It's what I always go for.
Yeah, yeah. Normally a Big Mac and a milkshake, and then the next day regret.
It's always the yeah. It's not otherwise. It's not McDonald's, right? If you don't have the regret the next.
Yeah, and 1,000 calories from 3 bites of a meal.
Exactly, exactly. The next one, the first two are food based. They're not all food based. They're just the first two. The next one is it's the classic like what would your death row last meal be?
Ooh. Uh, oh God. I'm gonna sound really. I think this is gonna sound really silly. I really like risotto. So yeah,
Yeah, I like it.
risotto. Um, something like that, or just because I'm allergic to eggs, but I like egg.
Right.
Every kind of egg. Because if I'm dying anyway,
Might as well out with a bang, right?
would let's go for it. It's your issue to deal with the next day, not mine.
Yeah, exactly. Like if the guy who's running the chair wants to explode everywhere, he'd be like, "Oh,
Yeah. So like it'd be one of them, I think.
no, it's nice. I like it. Or both. It's your last meal, right?
Yeah.
Just like a risotto wrapped in a giant omelet.
Do you know what? I'd be down for that.
I don't know how those flavors would mix, but it would look pretty cool.
Man on death row, we'll find out.
Well, I look forward to it. Let me know. Let me know. The next one is what is the song that gets you the most hype?
It is my entrance. Oof.
Yeah, you got that a lot. It is a good theme.
It is a rock cover of a Eurovision song that a very nice and very lovely friend of mine added an intro to. And it's just when the drums hit and it's doing the little build up and the crowd starts to clap, like there's no better way to get help.
Okay, what Eurovision song? I didn't know it was a Eurovision song.
Yeah, so the original Eurovision song is like a pop version. It's called Unicorn. And then my friend who called Carl, who is the announcer for Future Wrestling, um, sent me a song and he was like, listen to this, this feels very you. And it's like a rock cover of the Eurovision song. And then he added a little intro at the start of it for me, where there's a nice little build up that then hits to the song.
I didn't know that. I didn't know it was a Eurovision song originally. That's mad.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look up the original now. That's
Yeah, I like the original as well, but I don't think it would get me as hype.
no, yeah, maybe a bit. Yeah, no, rock is always better for the hype. Rock is always better for the hype. The next one is what is the movie that you show the locker room?
Uh, oof. Any movie. See, this is why, like, I've got the attention span of a fish, so I very rarely finish a movie. Um,
Is it like you struggle to finish a movie, or like you finish it but you're on your phone sort of thing?
I will sit on my phone or I'll just go for a walk. Right, either really annoying.
Or you just walk out halfway through the book?
Yeah, I'm awful. Um, it's really weird. I really like cars.
Cars is a great film. Cars are, I'm not gonna knock that. Cars is a great film. Cars is a Pixar classic.
You never seen Cars 2 or Cars 3, just
You don't need,
Cars.
you don't need to see Cars 2 or 3. I think stick with the original one.
Sit, enjoy it. I really enjoy Shawshank Redemption as well.
Shawshank is so long. I mean, like, no, it's I like genuinely like one of the greatest films of all time. But it's for someone who's they've got no attention span. It's such a long film.
When a film can hold me,
That's when you know it's good.
it can hold me. But then if it's a film where I'm a bit like, I will just like if we're watching a film in the living room, like my other half will finish it and I'll like wander off and watch TikToks.
Which is TikTok is so dangerous for people that have like low attention span. It's like you can be on it for ages.
Yeah. Like luckily we've got Wi-Fi, otherwise I'd never have any data.
Yeah. I was gonna say those 15, 30 seconds all light up when you scroll. It doesn't feel like they do, but they do. Um the next one's a bit of a throwback because it's what was your first job?
I worked at B&M.
Oh, classic first job. How did you find it?
It was a job.
Yes. Yeah.
I did Saturdays and Sundays. Yeah, it was my first sort of looking to work. I never did like paper rounds or anything. I was an incredibly lazy child. And then I worked at B&M.
What are we talking, like 16, 18?
Yeah, 16, 17.
Yeah, that's fair. That's like your standard first job, isn't it? Like get a bit of money and
Yeah, it was nice to have that, but yeah, job is a job.
does anyone really enjoy their first job?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, not from the experience that I've had with people answering that question on it. But the next one is the next one that gets a little deep because it's what is your greatest fear?
Oh, it does get deep. So I've got two.
Mm.
One is I have a fear of getting stuck at places, which is why I get anxiety. So I'm always scared the car's going to break down or something like that, and I'm scared of getting stuck like far away from home.
Mm.
And it's something that I'm trying to work on, but I'm terrified of dying.
I get both of those.
Which a lot of people I'll speak to and they go, yeah, I agree. And then a lot of people will go, why? It's done.
Mm.
So they're both things that I think I need to work past because I think they're them things that you can't really do anything about.
Yeah.
But in your head you can create scenarios. So
I'm so good at that. I'm so good at the scenario create. Well, that is again, that's my downfall as well in terms of like the dying. I always say to people like, I don't know if I'm afraid of dying. I think I like have the fear of I can't comprehend what it's like to not have a consciousness. You know what I mean? And that's scary to like have a moment where you all of a sudden don't have those thoughts.
yeah, like is there anything left? Yeah, no. Like if like one religion's right, which one's right? If none of them right, like obviously if we come back as something else, we don't remember that because I don't remember being something else previously. So
But that's the thing. If you could prove it, if something could prove that you come back as something else, I'd be a lot more chill about it. I'd be like, okay, I'll come back as something.
I'd probably end up coming back as like a beetle, but like
That's fine because then when you come back the next time, Beatles like short lifespan, right? So like you just come back as something like in a couple of days anyway.
you'd still be able to find me. I'd still probably be bold.
Amazing. I get the travel one as well though. I can relate to that as well. Like when I travel for wrestling shows, I wouldn't say it's like the worst fear I have, but like I still have the fear of like I travel like even if it's like a city or a town where there's clearly like people, I'm still like, what if the trains are cancelled and I can't get home? Like then what do I do?
Yeah, it's like there's so many ways that it could be easily resolved.
Yeah,
And
but in your head you're just like, oh no.
what if we get stuck here? What if we get stuck here? What if like and it's like I have a mobile phone.
Yeah. Like
I know it can be resolved. I know that other people would probably help me get home.
yeah.
Uh,
But in that moment you're just like it's the what ifs take over, don't they? And you like you just fear building.
100%.
I get it. I totally relate. I totally relate. The next one's a bit nicer. Again, back to the nicer ones. It's what is your favorite animal?
Uh, my dog Trixie.
Oh, it's a funny dog. What kind of dog is it?
She is a Sprocker Spaniel. She is the most hyperactive, energy-filled thing you'll ever meet. She runs into the living room with so much speed, she can run up the walls.
What?
Yeah, no, she's
Oh, that's amazing. I'm sort of almost disappointed. Like, I assume you're not in your living room at the minute, but if you're not, I'm disappointed you're not there, just so we could see that in the background.
no, she's downstairs keeping out the way at the minute, thankfully.
That's a goal. I love that.
It's got an Instagram though, so
Oh, okay, okay. We'll have to follow them. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
called Trixie the Sprocker.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I'm following her as soon as we're done with this chat. Then.
And when I remember to post, there are nice pictures of her on there.
Amazing, amazing. The next one. There's only a couple more left. The next one is what is your favorite place in the world?
Uh, I'm gonna sound really cheesy, but my house.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, Scotty Rourke, we had him on a while ago. He said his bed. So like,
Yeah,
yeah,
like it's where my favorite person is. It's where my favorite animal is. It's where my things that make me feel comfortable are.
yeah.
My house.
I love it. I love it. And the next one is on the opposite end of that to close with. It's what is your dream holiday destination?
Um, so I'm a 30-year-old that's never been abroad. So just one day somewhere abroad.
Is that
And
because you don't travel well, like you said, or
yeah. Um, sort of, it's just one of them things that never happened when I was a kid. Now as I got older, I've sort of taught myself out of it because of my travel stuff. But like one day to just make it abroad. I don't particularly care where, as long as it's like nice. But like, just even if I only ever do it once, it would just
that would be a big step. Yeah. Well, I like that. I like that. I hope you can do that. I hope you can do that soon because that'd be yeah, like you said, that'd be a big step and that'd be really cool.
yeah. I really hope so.
Sure.
It's the goal. It's the target.
No, it's good. It's great to have targets. It's great to have goals. And that's brilliant because it brings us nicely into the couple of final closing questions I have for you on this recording. And that's, we sort of alluded to it earlier, but in terms of 2025, just around the corner, if we were having this chat this time next year, and I started the chat once again by saying, has it been a good 2025 for Jason Joshua? What would constitute that for you? What would a really good, solid 2025 look like?
It would be as busy, if not more busy, than this year. It would be working to more promotions, working with people that I haven't worked with before. I just want to keep going.
Mm.
I don't need to take over the world. But like, I've already gone so much further than I thought I would that it's got to this point that I want to get further.
Mm.
And I don't really know what that means yet, but like, I want to just keep going.
Mm. No, I love that. I love that. Do you have like a bucket list of like places you want to debut or people you want to face that you haven't faced yet?
I do. Like, obviously, there's all the ones that you'd class as big promotions. But, like, the places that I'm at, I want to sort of be at the forefront of them. Like, a massive goal for me is to win the full force heavyweight title, which is a position I've worked for a majority of my wrestling career. And I train with. So like, that's somewhere where I'd like to sort of be front and center. But obviously, like, who wouldn't love to wrestle for like Rev Pro, Chaos? I'd love to get back to TNT. I love wrestling at like Pew, and I wrestle at a place called Win that I love, and Future. And like, I love where I wrestle, but I also want to wrestle more.
Yeah.
So like, I think I'm incredibly lucky where the places I wrestle, the amount I wrestle, but like, I'm one of them people that's like, this is really good, but I could do this as well.
Yeah. I think that's important, isn't it? It's important to have that drive. I think it's important to have that drive to like push you to want to do more, especially once you've got that taste of already doing more.
Yeah. I'm weirdly competitive, but it's mostly with myself.
Right.
Um, of well, I've done this before, so why can't I do it again?
Yeah.
Or like, yeah, so oh, I've done whatever many matches this year. I need to do at least one more next year. Or I bet this at the gym. I should be able to do this every week. Like, I I get in on myself. It's not always a good thing, but it helps sort of move you forward as well.
Yeah.
So it's and then like I love what I've done this year. I love the people I'm around. I love the promotions. So I want to do more.
No, I love it. I love it. That's great, and that's a great way to end. Except we're not at the end yet. I've got one final question for you, but this isn't a question that's been left by me because we have a closing tradition here on the podcast where our last guest leaves a question for our next guest. They don't know who they're going to be leaving it for. You're not allowed to know who it is that left it for you. It's just a random question that you've been left by our previous guest.
Okay.
So the question, oh, it's perfect. It's perfect because we're in December now, so it's perfectly festive. The question you've been left is tinsel taffy?
I think
Ooh.
mm, I think if you have too much, I think there's a very fine line. Uh, I think if you have a little bit, no. I think when it covers everything, yeah,
Yeah, I think that's a good answer. I think that's a solid answer. I think like,
it's good.
yeah, you don't want to overdo it.
No,
No, I get that. I get that. Brilliant. Well, I think that's a lovely place to end. Jason Joshua, thanks so much for coming on the Graph Third podcast. I hope you've enjoyed it.
I have. Thank you for having me.
No, of course, of course. It's been a pleasure having you here. And yeah, just congratulations on the year you've had. It's been fantastic to see you again climbing the ladder, getting more reps. Like again, you just like it feels like it's been a great year for you, and I can't wait to see what next year has in store for you as well.
Thank you. And yeah, like I said, I just want to keep going. So we'll see what happens.
No, of course, and can't wait to see it. And can't wait to see it. We always close each show by giving our guests the final word. So if anyone sees you on a match card, on a poster somewhere on social media, and finds out that you're a show near them, if someone comes to check out Jason Joshua, why are they going to be impressed? Why is Jason Joshua going to steal the show?
Um, because I think they'll be able to tell that I want to be there. Um, and yeah, and I'm a big lad that can move, and I will be wearing shiny singlets and making an absolute tit of myself. So come and laugh with me.